Okay, everybody, I'm so excited. My dear friend Amy is here. You guys, I kind of said this on our live training earlier, but she is someone who, and I'm like distracted letting people in. I watched her go to Jewel, and I was so inspired by just her spunk, her tenacity. You're going to learn a ton from her. And then when we were in Mexico, I got the amazing opportunity to pray on the beach with her. And I was watching her just be a leader in that space. And even more so, I'm just totally obsessed. So, Amy, this is Amy Triplett, everyone. Amy, take it away. I'm not going to talk anymore.
Oh, thank you, Sadie. This is so exciting. Thank you, ladies, for having me on. I just want to put it out there first. I know this is a no judgy zone. You guys are amazing. But we have been at the beach for 3 days, and we got home like an hour ago, and I showered, and I was like, should I put makeup on? But it's 10 o'clock for me, so I was like, you know what? These ladies are amazing. They're gonna love me as is. You get my fresh Joyome face and hair still sort of wet, but you guys all look gorgeous, and I just appreciate you for having me on here tonight. And so I felt like one of my favorite things to talk about, and what really I think everything comes down to this, is mindset. Does anybody, what do you guys think? You think that would be true? Like that could be a battle for summer? You guys all set? Like you're like, no, we got this. We're okay. All right. So I wanted to share a little of my story, and hopefully you guys can relate and just tell you something that really, really made a huge difference for me. And even now, it's so relevant to what I'm going through now, which I'm not really going through anything major. But the thing is, I'm just I don't know if you want to put in the chat or show me with fingers, about how many years have you guys been on? Like I've been with Plexus. I've been with Plexus for, it's going to be 8 years in February. Have you guys been around a while? A lot of us new here. Okay. So, all right. So when I started Plexus, just a quick recap, I joined for the business. Okay, awesome. Wow, you guys are amazing. Oh, look, we got some new friends too. Okay, good. So when I joined Plexus, I joined for the business. And I would say something very special with Plexus, and you guys could let me know if this is true for you or not, is most people join for the product. And I think that makes our company so special because we are very product driven. And I don't know about you, but I love these new changes. I love that they're focusing on customers. I think they always have, right? Like I think a lot of people join wholesale. There, how many of you heard, maybe you yourself was like, I'm not going to sell a thing, I just want the discount. Like that's what we hear, right? I was not one of those people, but I feel like I'm rare in that, which for a network marketing company, that is unusual. And I think that's what makes us so incredible, because we are so product based, and that's awesome. So when I joined, it was because I was a teacher for 10 years. I wanted to be home with my kids. I finally got to be home with my kids, but we really couldn't afford for me to be home with my kids. And I knew I either needed to go back to work, like it just wasn't happening. But childcare cost more than than my paycheck as a teacher with 3 babies. It was just, that's what it was. And so but I knew, like, which is what we were, it's hard to go from two income home to one, and we downsized, but it was rough. So I ended up seeing my friend post on Facebook, right? She had been sharing about the product for a good 6 months, and I was so happy for her. I absolutely cheered her on. She had lost like 50 pounds. I found her 50 pounds. Like I was so happy for her, but I was thinking like, when she, because I was liking everything, and she did her job, and she was like, hey, I see you're liking my post, you're interested. I was like, no, I'm so happy for you, but I can't afford food right now. I'm absolutely not going to be buying a supplement, so not happening. But I found a way for McDonald's constantly somehow. But anyway, so I did but I did watch her. I thought it looked like a good thing, but I didn't have any clue, and I didn't have any money. That was not even on my radar. But one day she posted that she got a paycheck, and it was like $1,143. And she didn't write that, by the way. You're not allowed to write that. She just said she made enough to cover her mortgage. And I, being the good friend that I am, called her on the phone. I was like, tell me what you really made. Like, what do you mean you made? Like, did you get a free candle? Like, or is this real actual money? Because I was shocked. And she was like, no. And she showed, like, literally showed me her paycheck. And I was like, are you kidding me? What, why haven't you said anything? Like, I could not, you guys, I could not believe that everyone on the planet wasn't doing this. I was like, is this some secret? Like, I didn't have a bad experience in network marketing. I didn't even know what it was. I did have a Mary Kay lady at my church, but I didn't pay attention. Like, I didn't know. But I was just shocked. And so I could not believe that this people really do that. I just was like, oh yeah, sign me up. I literally did not pay a bill. Like, that's how serious I was. I didn't pay a bill in order to do it. So, and I treated it like a business. So I'm assuming if you guys are on this call that you are wanting a business, right? And so I just want you to know something right now. And I really want you to decide this today. Like, if you want this to work for you, it will, and it can. You just have to decide that. You have to believe it. For me, I struggled in the beginning to relate to some of my teammates because for me, it was like, this was my business, the same as I was a teacher. Like, if something wasn't working, I was going to learn how. Like, there was just, and I didn't feel like it was too much work. I'm like, now let me just say this. I learned a lot since then. I do not build my business the exact same way. In the beginning, this was 7 years ago, I literally messaged people at night from 9 to 11 instead of watching The Bachelor. Like, that, to me, that was not hard work, laying on my couch and messaging people. And I think it was before voice message. I was pretty personal, but honestly, like, my motto was no man left behind. And I just thought, I'm at least going to ask you. And that was not hard for me. Like, it was, that's what I did. And it was just a numbers thing for me. So I actually hit Emerald in less than 2 years. And it was simply because, I mean, honestly, 100%, I just showed up every single day. Now, I did have a schedule. I had babies at home. My kids were 2, 3, and 5, I think, at the time, which is hard. And we were homeschooling my 5-year-old, and my husband was working all the time. So I was busy, super busy, but I made my little schedule. And I'm not kidding, from 9 to 11 o'clock at night, that's what I would do. I wouldn't scroll Facebook. I would just go through my messages. If you were online the same time as me, like, that was my system. If you were online the same time as me, I was gonna be like, Sadie, hey, did you see I was doing Plexus? Do you want some? No? Okay, who do you know that does? Like, that was literally what I did. And if you ignored me, I didn't even know it, because I was messaging Patty or Kristen or Amanda. Like, I didn't even know. You didn't hurt my feelings. For me, I was more afraid of what would happen to my kids if I failed at this, because, like I said, I didn't pay a bill. So there was so I didn't understand when people were like afraid of what others, I was like, what do you mean? Like, do you not see what these diamonds make? Like, in my opinion, I thought to myself, man, if it takes me 10 years to make even a tenth of what a diamond makes, then that's still far more than I could do as a teacher. And it's definitely far more than I could do as a stay-at-home mom, like, financially. So to me, like, if something wasn't working, that was just something else I needed to learn. So, like, my mindset was good, I think, in the beginning. Like, it really, really was. So I say that just to give you a little background. But here's what happened. I hit Emerald, and I hit it, like, I went way past Emerald. Like, I don't know, Sadie, you've been around a long time too. Were we around the same time-ish? Okay. So
were you 17?
I joined in 2014.
But when did you
No,
go Emerald?
wait.
16?
Oh yeah, 16. I hit
I
Emerald
remember watching that, and I was just in awe of you.
Oh, thank you. Like, I hit it real, like, I went way past. Like, in my mind, I was going diamond the next day. Like, I didn't even care about sapphire. Like, it was just a pit stop. And that's what I thought. So here's this is the part I'm getting to, okay? Because we all have our different journey, right? And when I tell you, I've never taken my foot off the brake in 7.5 years, I'm promising you I haven't. Like, there was no, sometimes people come and go. We have those who check out here and there. Maybe I've got a team sometimes of people that check in and out. My upline had a horrific tragedy They've had to check in and out, and that's been totally fine with me. They're amazing, incredible people. If they never worked again, I would never blame them. They've been through horrific things. My Jana Hooten, if you guys know who Jana Hooten is, my upline, she lost her 16-year-old in an accident on Super Saturday. So she's the most incredible, wise, amazing person. And her sister, who lost her niece, is my sponsor. So my point is, there's been times where I've been the only one working, but here's what happened. So I hit Emerald, and then I got all the way up to, that was like February, I think, of 2014, maybe January. And then that May, I ended at 2902. Isn't that crazy? Without pushing. That would be Sapphire's 3000 for anybody who may not know what that means, 3000 points. 2902 is where I ended in May. I mean, I was flying. I knew I was going, but circumstances happened. I don't even remember. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to list it all. Things outside of my hand, just things happen, and just different things, all kinds of things. And then little by little over the years, my point, I never lost Emerald, but here's what happened every month. So this is the part I'm getting to. For 4 years, I sat at Emerald. Okay. Now I never stopped working ever. I still did all the things. I learned a little bit about I didn't cold message people anymore. Like I'm always going to reach out to people if I really think, like, I'm always going to be great at following up. And if I think you're amazing, or if you have a need, I'm going to still ask you, but it is very intentional. So I'm much better at that now. And it's usually with people who engage with my content. So that's a whole different training. But so I don't just like copy paste or anything like that now, but I never stopped doing the work. But what happened was, every month I was telling my husband, I was going backwards by the hundreds, by the way. There was like a span of time where I was like, I think I got down to 1503 at one point. Like 1500 is Emerald. And if you lose that, you lose your big bonus. Like, it's a big chunk to lose. And at this point, because I was like rocking and rolling, my husband had quit his job. Like, we were going diamond. Like, this was our only income. We moved, like, we got out of our little 600 square foot trailer. Like, we didn't manage our money that well. Let me just say that also. I learned so much. This was years ago. I had no idea about taxes. Like, I just didn't know. I was just thinking, like, we're going to be millionaires, quit everything. Let's go on vacation. Like, everyone take our money. Like, I just was like, amazing. But then everything came to a halt. Not really, but like, it felt like it did. And then I spiraled. Now, you may or may not have known that, but every month I'd be like crying to my husband. I'm like, just so you know, we're not gonna hit Emerald. And I had this fear, this scarcity mindset of, I ruined my family. That's how I felt. I felt like, now I've made it where we have to make this certain income. We were fine before, but now we have to make my kids' school depends on it. Like, it was just all these fears. And every month I would tell him, like, I'm not going to hit Emerald this month. I'm not going to hit Emerald this month. Just so you know, just warning you, I'm not going to do it. Just so you know, this is going to be the last month, and I would constantly be saying this, and I would start believing it. And I would, like, somebody would join my team, and in my head, I would think, well, they're probably going to quit. Or I'm not going to be able to help them, like, or they're just going to check out like everyone does. Like, I didn't say these things out loud to other people, but I did. So here's the third part I want to get to. So I started doing I always do personal development, always. But I started getting into Bob Heilig type of stuff. You guys, anybody like Bob Heilig? Do you know who he is? Oh, I love Bob. Okay, so I do, like, if you tell me what to do, I will do it. I was his best student, still am. I'm on his podcast. Like, I love Bob. But if you tell me color everything in green, I'm going to color everything in green. You tell me to message 89 people every hour, that's what I will do what you tell me to do. Like, give me the map, I will do it. Like, that's just how I am. Like, I literally won every contest Bob has had. I entered because I will do the work, but I was not getting any results. Like, I was doing everything he was telling me to do, and I was still going backwards. And I could not understand it. And I'm like, and I would get mad. I started to get jealous. I started to get mad because people would just come from nowhere and then they would just go to Diamond in 2 days. And like, here I am killing, or people would like disappear for 2 months or 3 months and then they'd snap back again. And all of a sudden their teams would just grow magically. I'm like, not really, but this is what you're feeling, right? Like, and I'm just like, everyone's passing me by. Like and then people would quit and I wasn't quitting. I couldn't understand it. And I was just getting just so frustrated. And so finally, I remember just telling Bob, like, he's like giving me a list of things. I was like, I do that. Yep, I do that. I listen to these type of calls and I'd be like, yeah, I do. Literally, I could have taught that. Like, I do all of that. Like, I do it. Oh, what is going on? I just couldn't understand what was happening. And so, and then you like, you listen to I love Brooke Hemingway. You listen to Brooke Hemingway and I'm like, okay, literally do everything that she just said. Okay, I do this. Okay, like I was so frustrating. So Bob finally said this to me, Amy, like, I don't want you to do anything new. No new, no, and let me just say, side note, and I understand this now, I was totally overwhelming my team because if I heard Sadie was doing something amazing, guess what, team? This girl over here, she's doing amazing. We're going to start doing this now. Oh my goodness, Donna just started doing this. Okay, guys, this is what we're doing now. Okay, we didn't get results in 2 weeks. Amanda has it. All right, let's do that instead. Like, I didn't realize what I'm saying. I did all the things. I literally did all the things. So finally, Bob said to me, you are the problem. Like, he's in his nice, loving way, but he literally said, you're the problem. Your mindset. Like, and you guys, that made me so mad. If you're a doer, I was like, that's just who I am. Like, oh, how do you change who you are? Like, I need a list. I need an action of what to do. I don't know how to change my mindset. Okay, fine. I'm going to be happy. Okay, now what? Let's go. And I couldn't, and it just, that was too intangible for me. And I didn't know what that meant. And I always felt like I was doing something wrong if I'd get upset. So I wouldn't tell a lot of people, but I tell my husband, but internally I was feeling, ugh. So he taught me, can you guys, hold on. I think I got this blur background on. Hold on, let me change my background so you could actually see this if I can. Choose virtual background. I didn't want you guys to see that I was in my bed, but oh well. Okay, here we go. I'm hiding from my kids. Okay, I think that's good. Come on. Okay. Can you see this now? And if you want to copy this, I can give you. Okay, has anyone ever seen this before? This little thing changed my life. You have, Molly? Okay. So, all right. So what he said to me is, I don't want you to do anything. Okay, by the way, my team added 11 people in March, which might sound really incredible for some, but not for an Emerald Ambassador. When you're used to adding like 75 to 100, that to me was showing like, oh my goodness, my team is dying. I'm losing it all. Again, the spiral, right? And so Bob said for 30 days, do not do anything else. Like, you could do your basic stuff, like your IPA, but like no nothing. Every single day, I want you to do this little chart. And that is literally it. That is it. That's all you're allowed to do. And it gave me an action. So I'm going to tell you what this is. And I'm just going to tell you some of the results and how it's helping me now. And I'm so sorry. I didn't even ask you how much time I have. Am I taking way too long? Sorry. Okay.
No.
Okay.
You're in the driver's
seat. So what
seat.
this is, and you can actually write this on a piece of paper. I'll tell you what they stand for. It says C for, and I'll send it to you, Sadie. So if you don't feel like you guys have to like rush and write things down. But C stands for circumstance. T stands for thoughts. F stands for feelings. A is action, and R is result. And so a lot of times what happens is we think these thoughts, we get our thoughts and our feelings and even our circumstances just intertwined. And it's so hard to break those apart. We start believing my team is dying. We're never hitting Emerald. Like, I'm never going to be a diamond. I'm hanging, like, those are thoughts, right? And all they are thoughts. Are they true? I feel like they're true, but they're not. Those are literally just thoughts. So what he said is, when you feel that trigger of, oh my goodness, what do I do? I'm overwhelmed. This is happening. This person was mean. My husband was rude. Like, whatever it is, if you're feeling that, take a moment and write it down. What is the actual circumstance? So I'll use my 11 people as the example. The actual circumstance, like no good or bad, it was that we added 11 people that month. Okay. So what I was thinking is my team is dying, nobody's working. I'm a bad leader. I overwhelm my people, whatever. I start thinking, and when I think those things, I took time to actually write that down. What am I feeling? I'm feeling defeated. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling, just like a loser. I'm feeling like a horrible leader. I'm feeling just down. So so for most people, when you're feeling that way, for a lot of people, you just don't, it makes you quit, right? When you're constantly feeling like you either stop working or you just, because I was so fear-based and I was so afraid of losing, I did still do the action. So I did do it, but it absolutely affected the way I was showing up. So even though I was still doing the things, I was not doing it in a way that served others or myself. I was doing it out of fear and out of scarcity and not really wanting to. My passion was gone, my joy was gone. And people can feel that. Even in a message, people can feel that. And so what happened was the results that when you don't do anything or when you do it, but without passion or conviction or joy or, with stress or with fear, when you're doing with that, your results, what results did you get? Well, exactly the thing that you were worried about usually, right? Or nothing. And so instead, the only thing, I can't really change my circumstance, right? What can I change? Well, I can change the choose a different thought pattern. And this, you guys, this has been so life-changing for me. And it's not easy. Like I still have to practice this. But when I started saying, you know what, I've got 11 people on my team. This is 11 new families that can be completely impacted with these products. These are 11 people that I can serve and love. And what an exciting thing that I have a smaller group to really focus on and to love. This gives me an opportunity to grow. Like now, when I think those thoughts, thank you for these incredible people that you've brought into my life, Lord. Thank you that I have this big team. Thank you that I've been Emerald. It's a lovely place to be stuck if you're stuck. Thank you that I've had this and like 6-figure business for all these years. And thank you for the people. Like when I started thinking that way, all of a sudden my feelings changed to like gratitude and like I have a responsibility to love these people. And it just completely changed my feelings, which absolutely changed my actions. I was still doing this stuff, but now all of a sudden I just came from a different point. I came from like, how can I serve you? How can I help you? Whatever it was, or just different things. And I'm telling you, this is not just in business. This has helped me in every area of my life. And then all of a sudden, again, when people can trust you and they know you and you're really serving, when you focus on that, it's just like crazy how things work out. So for me, that was March of 2020, I guess. And then by June, we added about 300 people to our team, like that just by June. And really by doing, and you know what else is so crazy? This is really my magic. I started doing this with my team. So when someone come to me, I want to do this, Amy, but I just can't. I don't know anybody. I'm just not good at this. Nobody's listening to you. Anyone heard that or felt that before, people on your team? What I used to do is like, no, girl, you're amazing. You've got this. I believe in you. Who can we message right now? I can say that and I believed it, but you know what? If she didn't believe it, then it meant nothing. So I started saying to them, I can think of one girl in particular, her name was Jenica. And I said, Jenica, read back what you just wrote to me, because we were through Messenger. I said, when you read that, all those things that you just said, how does that make you feel? And I felt weird saying it at first, but she was like, I feel like, why am I even doing this? I should probably quit. And I said, okay, so now I just said, I just went through it with her and I said, what if these things were true? And I just wrote the good stuff that I love the product. I know these products can help people. I enjoy helping people. There are still people out there who've never heard this. Whatever it was. And I said, are those things true that I just wrote? Do you love the product? Do you believe in them? And she was like, well, yeah. And I said, what if that was your thought? Like, what if that were true? Then how would you feel? Well, then I would feel like I could do anything. And I'm like, well, then you need to choose those thoughts, or, but even better if I get her to say that, you know, and when she's just started switching that, it was crazy. She just started showing up differently. And even in her posts, and then just kind of was magnetic. So let me just say, and then you guys, if you were around last year, like the company just exploded, right? Like, but you know what it came from? Honestly, you want to know what it came from? I don't think anything was much different other than there was a boy who went emerald in like 4 months from Mexico, right? And then you guys know who I'm talking about. Jesus, right? He's amazing. But what happened was all of a sudden people's belief, like nothing really changed other than all of a sudden people are like, wait, what? Wait, if he can do this, then what? She's doing that? Like, and like it was like crazy. It was just this momentum because literally nothing other than people believed that they could. And we go through these phases up and down, but like, man, imagine if we just had control of our own thoughts and we didn't have to go. So I'll be honest with you, I hit Sapphire. I was so excited. I needed to hit Sapphire. I was so happy. We grew by like 1,100 points in a month. And it was amazing, right? It was absolutely amazing. And I'm so thankful. But we didn't maintain it. We just didn't, people come and go, things happen. Weird stuff happened. Let me just say it, like weird stuff. But you know what's so crazy? So I haven't maintained Sapphire this past year. But I'm a whole lot further than I was before we pushed that. So I don't regret it one bit. But my mindset is so different. Like I have such a peace. And honestly, I'll take that peace over anything. Like I know I'm gonna hit diamonds. I still believe I'll hit it by December. That's my goal, what I'm striving for. But even if I don't, it's just to have a peace and to have the tool. Let me just say it that way. To have a tool is what, because there'll be moments where I can easily slip back into, oh my goodness. And then I'm like, no, okay, we got this. What is the circumstance? And I love this. Somebody said, it was one of our conventions, what's the best thing that can happen? I use that on my team all the time. I have a girl she's so scared of live videos and she would be amazing. And I was like, what's the best thing that could happen if you did live videos? She's like, well, lives would change. I was like, isn't it worth trying that then? And she's like, okay, yeah. And she's been doing it and I'm so proud of her and people are responding to it. And so anyway, that's the main thing. So I would say if you guys are in a place where you're struggling, learn this little formula and it's so simple. Another resource for you besides Bob Heilig, who I love Bob. He's so good at this, but it's it's called the Life Coach School. Is that it? Brooke Castillo. Do you guys know her? I started listening to her podcast too, and it's very much the same stuff. And so what's exciting is if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling and you kind of feel yourself slipping into the old habits, it all really comes down to our habits and our mindset, right? The cool thing is there's always tools, like there's always hope. So that's the thing that makes me so excited. There's always going to be a new thing you learn, a new aha moment, a new something where you can learn something and just take your next step to get wherever you need to go. So that's what's exciting, because I'm like, man, it's never all lost, So anyway, I hope that helps. I don't know if you had anything else, Sadie, or wanted me to answer any questions, or let me check what this chat says.
No, I love it. I think that they were responding to before, but I want to, my team knows how I feel about Enneagram. So I just want to mention that our girl here is an Enneagram 7, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Did I tell you that, or did you just know?
No, we did this in our little diamond squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I am so 7.
Yeah. So you know what? I loved this. Do you mind? I don't know if anybody's going to have, it's late where you are. We're going to respect your time. Does anyone have a quick anything for Amy that you'd like to ask, or did something trigger you in a good way that you'd want to like comment on? Going once, twice. No.
I just have to say, your energy is absolutely amazing. If you've been traveling with your family